closely, what's in the local government code 43, point 141. And 43, 141 actually has a more robust explanation as to what occurs during, after you receive this. There is another provision in the local government code 43, 142 that basically says that a home rule municipality may disannex an area in the municipality according to the rules as provided by the charter. So there's an opportunity here for you to follow the 141 model, or basically do what we've done with annexation and just say disannexation can be done in compliance with the law at the time, or we could come up with a whole different mechanism for it.
Well, Art, I just think that what we have is great, but it doesn't tell the citizens to read the charter to say you can put a petition together and get everybody qualified, like fellow commissioner here that may decide he wants to do that. What happens if they get a petition?
Right.
Are they automatically de-annexed at that point if the voters decide they want out? Or is there a vote of everybody in the city? What happens? I think it would be useful for the charter to state that fact.
Right.
I have a question also. It says not receiving standard governmental and proprietary services of the city. What does that include? Proprietary services?
Whatever the city offers.
Water, sewer, police.
We don't have sewer. And they told me it's not ever gonna happen because it costs too much money, so.
I mean, those are the services that we're talking
That's
about,
what-
parks, but those are the services that we're talking about, and if the city doesn't have sewer for one, and it doesn't have it for any of them, that's not a service for which you can get this annexation from, because they're not providing it for anyone
Where anyone where?
within the corporate limits of the city.
No, he's just saying, if the city does not provide sewer, when you're annexed, you're not entitled to sewer. But if the city does provide sewer, when you're annexed, in whatever it says here, 2.5 years, you are entitled to sewer.
Okay.
If the city has not met that obligation, you can file your petition for de-annexation. That's what it says today.
I understand. My question is, the city provides water, the city provides sewer to people in the city of Rockwood. If you were annexed, and it's been over 2.5 years, and you're still not being provided sewer and water, and they want to do a petition, they should be able to do a petition, and the charter should say what happens to that.
Right, and it's silent as to that right now.
And I think that it ought to say, you get de-annexed if you get a petition, or it has to go and explain what it is.
So, right,
I mean,
so,
not everybody that reads this is a lawyer.
understood, and what they, I don't know what people were doing in previous, charter review commission. However, what the 141, the 43, 141 provides is what happens is that if you do that and you file your petition and the city doesn't respond essentially, then you can file a lawsuit in district court and the district court can disannex you.
So then
Okay.
the petition does no good, because the council can ignore you and you still have to sue them.
Right, and so,
Okay,
but
that's my
the
question.
charter doesn't provide that. I mean, currently the charter doesn't say that. It leaves out some important sections out of the local government code.
Perhaps some information that would help is what is a sewer, is sewer's an extra charge on your
Yes.
utility bill? And what is that charge? Because we know what it's costing us to keep up those,
So the city of Garland example he provides up there basically says what happens after you set, right?
Well, there's I provide two other examples, one from the city of Belton and one for the city of Garland, as to how they,
I think Ms. Jackson had a question or something.
Yeah, she was doing a dance over there, we couldn't get to her, but. Am I allowed to speak?
if the chair recognizes you, yes.
We recognize you.
Later,
The chair recognizes you.
later in the charter, it does deal with petitions are dealt with later in the charter.
You could also just reference that section and say petitions will be dealt with as outlined in section, whatever the.
I would prefer that, at least they have guidance to what the next thing is, opposed to like all of us reading this 12 times, somebody else is gonna have a harder time, so.
So you would like it under this section as to what happens with it?
I would think so.
Okay.
I agree, I mean, I think
It's
there
just
needs to be
guidance.
something that says this is the next step.
They're not floundering around trying to figure out what the next move is. Please
Your charter-
use section, whatever it is, for the city's next information. Does that make sense?
Yep. How about, Kim, if y'all don't mind, we can take that back, we can come up with some wording and have it for you